Yo, as I watch this Laker game, I can't help but notice that LeBron James don't play a legitimate amount of games no more. And this is a guy we keep saying is Iron Man, but he don't play as much games. Now, something where the line comes off a little fishy because part of me says maybe he really is hurt. But then another 50% part of me says maybe he's just doing load management. Now, if he's just doing this to save himself for later on in the season, that's cheesy. And that's pretty much wrong to do. If you're healthy, you're available to play. You're supposed to be playing. I don't understand how come injury reports come up that he's hurt all the time. And I watched the game before. He don't look like he was hurt. Then all of a sudden, every new game is some new injury, you know? And a funny thing I saw, what up, Z? Funny thing I saw was Westbrook shot a three. I mean, not a three, a mid-range shot. Hold the pose, only to miss the shot. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Westbrook in full effect. I'm just going to be here for the fourth quarter. I just want to call this fourth quarter real quick. You know, man, you got a new nickname for every time we go on live. What it was, Lee Prince, Stephen P. Now it's Stephen P. Man, I don't want to be called no Stephen P. Man, he's a bit fishy myself. You know, to me, he's a little fishy, man. I can't. Something about Stephen A. Smith just rubs me the wrong way. I understand he's a millionaire and all of that. He could talk sports, but he don't keep the same energy for certain athletes. I don't like the fact that Aaron Rodgers get away with lying on national TV and all this other nonsense. But you mean to tell me if that was LeBron James that did something like that, you've been hanging this guy, you know, outside to burn, basically. Throwing him under the bus. You know, you did it to Kyrie Irving. You had strong criticism words for Kyrie Irving when it pertains to vaccine and all this other stuff. So you should have keep that same energy, like Nice to Future said. This is why we call Stephen A. Smith a stitch or a coon or a sellout. Why is it, and it's not just him, why is it a lot of these athletes that happen to be a different race and somebody in the media, if they're white, Asian, or any other race, and they call you out, you don't respond back to them, but you respond back to a black analyst calling you out all the time, but you don't. I don't get it. Is it just the thing that you only take what the black guys say serious, but you don't take what the other analysts say serious? Colin Cowherd could get on here right now and disrespect any black athlete, and none of those guys would say anything about it. But if that was the Stephen A. Smith, you guys all over it. Vice versa. I don't understand. Is there some rule that you can't talk about somebody because of their race? If somebody criticizes me, rather he's white, green, black, I'm calling them out too. You don't get no free pass. What is this? This is a new game of the rule. There's something going on that I don't know about. You let me know. I never heard no part of the game like that. So you mean to tell me if I was an athlete, I just happen to be black, but if I get called out by a Skip Bayless or something, I can't say nothing? It's against the rules for me to defend myself against a Skip Bayless. But if a Stephen A. Smith says something against me, I'm allowed to go back and forth with that guy and vice versa. Stephen A. Smith was calm as hell with Aaron Rodgers. If that was Kyrie Irving, you'd be throwing him under a bus. Why is it that you're going to talk bad about your fellow black people, but you don't keep that same energy for nobody in any other races? And it's not just white people. He did the same thing for Asians. You don't criticize no other athletes other than black athletes. That's a bit coonage. You seen the movie Django, right? The brother that always talks bad about his own people, but he don't criticize everybody else that do it. That's called being biased. Now, this is when I would come out to the defense of LeBron James, because if this was LeBron, y'all know what y'all be saying. If this was LeBron that got on TV and lied in front of everybody, you guys would be torturing LeBron if he did that. Aaron Rodgers don't deserve no free pass. That's why I'm gonna keep baking on it and keep talking on it. That weasel looking cat, he deserved to get criticized too. He deserves some smoke. Nobody cares about your race. Keep that same energy. 75 to 82. No. And I don't like the fact that some of these journalists and these people in the media, these sports journalists, they claim to be keeping it real. They claim to be, oh, I talk to anybody at any given time. Okay, Stephen A. Smith, if that's the case, how come you don't roast Aaron Rodgers? I better see in the next coming days you talking bad about Aaron Rodgers, criticizing Aaron Rodgers, but you don't keep that same passion and energy for other players that happen to be a different race. And Carmelo Anthony is playing so good for this LA team. He playing like a borderline all-star. And Anthony Davis with a big block. The Lakers running a fast break, 82 to 75. Anthony Davis been playing more games than LeBron. Street clothes. So imagine if he gets hurt. This team is just so suspect. They got injuries written all over them. You know, I don't really think LeBron James is really injured, though. I think he's just taking games off because of his age. And for me, if he's doing that, I'm going to lose respect for that. You know, when Mike was old as dirt playing on the Washington Wizards, he played 82 games. He makes sure he played 82 games, even if he had some games when he scored 0 points. I remember there was a Washington Wizard game where Mike scored. I think Mike had 0 or 5 or something like that, if my memory serves me well. But he went out there and gave it his all and still played. He didn't use, oh, I'm old, I need to take this night off. He played all 82 games. Couldn't barely run, couldn't barely jump. The guy's body was old and beaten, but he still went out there and played. Everybody aged differently. The more bruises and bangs you go do, the more your body is going to break down on you. And I don't want to hear no excuse for LeBron James. Oh, he preserving his body. We don't care about you preserving your body. You play a professional sport. Go out there and give it your all every time you play until it's the end. Yeah. All you had to do is just tell me to hit the camera button. That was Hannah, by the way, walking by. You know, y'all saw her in the green. She loves wearing green. You know, you probably don't be surprised to see her in army fatigues, looking like she ready to go to war. You know, but yeah, man, that's wrong. You don't have to be the best player in the game and all that other stuff. You don't have to chase pitiless stats looking to try to catch Kareem so you could play a million years just to get that record, which would be pointless. Just play basketball. Shouldn't you be worried about winning championships on your last few years? Keep your bites. Keep playing basketball, dog. Because if you keep taking these games lightly, then guess what? Everybody else is going to take these games lightly. This is why NBA is losing value, because you got guys that be doing this load management, disappearing on games and acting like these games don't matter. If these games don't matter, then why we do 82 game seasons? Why? Do a 40 game season if these games don't matter. If this is too much basketball for these guys to be playing, but you're getting paid millions of dollars, I don't want to hear that. You sign a contract to go and play basketball. Some of us don't have, some of us here in the States don't have jobs. We don't even get to come across to touch the money that you guys are touching. You don't see us complaining. We go to work every day and do what we got to do in the midst of COVID-19. You know how scary that is as a guy that survived COVID? You know what I'm saying? As a guy that survived COVID, you know how scary that is? So, well, anywhere on this spot right here. Yeah. I appreciate it, Z. You know, but a lot of us got to work hard, man. We don't get the privilege of making millions of dollars to put a ball through a hoop. Because at the end of the day, this is just a game. People are out here really dying out here on these streets from this stuff, catching viruses and getting all this other stuff. I'm a COVID-19 survivor. I'm lucky, and I thank the guy above that I still could be here to talk to you. Because this could have went left big time. You take a risk with your life every time you go outside. These guys make millions of dollars. They take less risk. But you got clowns and cowards like Aaron Rodgers lying about something that is serious. That's borderline. What's that dude? Rudy Gobert, right? The dude that was COVID as a joke and start touching the microphones like an immature child. You guys are clowns, man. People pay thousands of dollars to see you guys play. LeBron James, if you're fully healthy, get your ass out there and play basketball. There's some kid in this crowd from the that's a LA Lakers fan that spent thousands of dollars to watch you play. You owe it to him to get on that court and play. Because that's what Mike would have did. That's what Kobe would have did. That's what anybody would have did that signs a professional contract to play basketball. You don't get no nights off. We don't get no nights off. Why should you get any nights off? You bust your ass and work hard to get to the NBA. And now you're just on a lollygag it. Why you guys don't care about your own profession? Have a little pride, for Christ's sakes. Appreciate what you do, because guess what? It don't last forever. Everything comes to an end, right? So appreciate your time as a basketball player and stop making up petty excuses or worrying about chasing petty stats that don't care. Nobody gives a rat's ass if you hit Kareem's #1 scoring record. Nobody cares, dog. You're going to prolong yourself for that? It's corny. Now, it'd be a different story if I see him take a hit or something like that. But every time I see LeBron play, he looks healthy. But then in the very next game, especially if it's back-to-back, mysteriously, he got an injury. I hope these clowns lose this game. No, it's bad enough you stack the deck. You try to put all these superstars on your team. The least you could do is go out and play. You got a couple guys that could back you up. It's not like you're going to be playing hard anyway. Take these games seriously, man. I don't care if it's regular season or what. These games got to have some value, because if that's the case, then why are you getting paid millions of dollars for it? You can say whatever you want about Mike, but he played. And his words were, I play hard every single game because there's somebody buying tickets for the first time watching me play. And he didn't want to let the people down. He went out there blasting. Even in loss, he went out there blasting. He ain't perfect, but he went out there blasting. He gave you everything he had. He didn't let injuries say, he said, you know what? the way Mike played, his career got cut short a little bit. You know, you want to be specific about it. 15 seasons. If he was playing in modern NBA day, with some of the advancements they got, he probably been playing a little longer because every generation medical advancements get different. So he probably been playing longer. But this man been through countless injuries. Michael Jordan, that is. Tendonitis in the knees. And still played with all of this stuff. He gave it his very best every single game he played. He went out there to compete. And it's not about how long you play. It's about what you do when you play. You could play for 10 years, but if you got 10 years of greatness, that beats a guy playing 20 years, spend half of his career losing, collecting empty stats. But you guys listen to these clowns in the media like Stephen A. Smith. I'm glad. I think it was Jason Williams. I'm glad Jason Williams called out Stephen A. Smith today. He said, you don't keep that same energy, man. I'm glad he said that. Because this is what we was talking about with some of these people. Even Shannon Sharp had the guts to call out Aaron Rodgers. He didn't sugarcoat it and try to wipe it under the rug like Stephen A. Smith do. And that's a LeBron James slurper. Shout out to my man, Philly. But at least he had the guts to call out Aaron Rodgers for that pettiness that he did. Not only are you putting your teammates at risk, you're putting everybody else at risk. You don't know how that's going to affect somebody else. You could be asymptomatic with COVID, have no symptoms. But if you go next to somebody else, you could give that next person who probably has health issues symptoms. This shit ain't no joke, man. People have lost their lives over this stuff. There's no joking matter. If Kyrie had to go by the rules, then so does Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't deserve to be playing those football games that he played because you lied. And who was behind all of this to make sure that he was vaccinated or not? So you're just going to go by his word? Where's the rules in here? How you know how did this man get away with lying about being vaccinated? How? A multi-billion-dollar business, a franchise that makes millions of dollars, lets a guy come into their franchise that's not vaccinated? Don't you want to have proof that he was vaccinated? What they doing over there in Green Bay? You can't run a franchise properly, right? $1 million franchise, you can't run that properly, right? How did this guy go about not being vaccinated and getting away with it? I bet you Kyrie Irving couldn't get away with that. They'd be testing him off the bat. They'd be saying, I want to see papers, I want to see documents. How did Aaron Rodgers get away with that? That must have been an inside job. The owner of the team must have known about that, because if the players know about that, then the owner must have known about that. Some of the players know Aaron Rodgers was unvaccinated, and the rules state that you had to be vaccinated to play football. Why did he play all these games to begin with? That man played like over 7 NFL games. Out there putting people at risk. That's an inside job. There's no way you run a business and not know a guy's not vaccinated. You mean to tell me he didn't have to present proof that he was vaccinated? How you get away with something like that?
Well, either you're vaccinated or you're not vaccinated. You're putting...
But you got to show the card. You got to show some proof.
At risk.
You got to show some proof.
There is a basketball player that vaccinated but still get COVID.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that you should.
Agreeing that the vaccine can protect the body. No, there's
no.
People.
I understand that. I don't agree with that. You know, everybody should be getting vaccinated. But for his case, he making millions of dollars, and the rules is he's supposed to be vaccinated. If you don't want to get vaccinated, fine, but don't play football.
Okay, then maybe he talked to someone in that, to cover him up.
He had to. It was an inside job. There's no way he could just say he's vaccinated and not present no proof behind it. Because these NBA players will probably have to present proof. If that was the case, half of these guys could be lying about being vaccinated. I'm not one for getting the shot, but at the same time, Lakers down by 2. By the way, is 88-86.
I think it comes to being strict in that the vaccine and the vaccination part. I think Philippines is more good than the United States to making sure that this person is really vaccinated or not. It's because they verifying the card if it's true or not. So you cannot lie to them.
Yeah. Salute. Oh, salute sports debate, man. What it do with you, man? That's a damn shame, man. If that was LeBron, man, if LeBron went on national TV and lied about being vaccinated, oh my God. Just think about the scrutiny that he would have got. Not just him. Think about Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving already got thrown under the bus. How come we don't keep that same energy for white athletes or white athletes of another race? Now, as far as Stephen A goes, it's cool that he happens to be a black man with some power in the sports world. I give him props for that. Salute for that. But with great power comes great responsibility. You don't do that, man. You don't do. What is a black guy that constantly throw other black people under the bus? You could call them shock jocks. There's plenty of words you could call for them. But what is that? If I'm a sports analyst, okay, I'm a YouTuber, all right? Now, what if I keep criticizing just black people, but letting everybody else get away with the same thing? What does that make me in the same profession and in sports? That would be some hidden agenda. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, maybe Stephen A. Smith isn't passionate about football. Nonsense, because Stephen A. Smith claims to be a big football fan. He even said the football was better than the NBA at one point. That he cares, he likes watching it. So if you get that much passion for sports, you should keep that same energy towards Aaron Rodgers. He just sit there and say, oh yeah, it was cowardly, it was this, it was that, in a calm voice. But if it's Kyrie Irving, that man doing like a hour special dissing Kyrie Irving. 25 minutes on Kyrie Irving. And this is where the bias comes from. Even a guy like Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless won't go out of his way to diss Aaron Rodgers. He'll diss him, but he won't diss him like if this was LeBron James. If this was LeBron James, Skip would be posting this on social media. He'd be posting this on the news. He'd be posting this everywhere he go. National TV. It'd be a thing that you won't hear the end of if it was LeBron James. Let's start treating our athletes. Let's start treating these guys a little bit fair. Fair criticism. I criticize LeBron and also give him credit for things. That's the mark of some, because there's a thin line between love and hate. There's a thin line between criticism and hate. There's some people that not really criticizing somebody, they're really hating on the person because they already crossed that line. I try to give it a 50-50. I try to look at the other side of the story. Then I see if, hey, I'm falling on this side because I think this is bull job. But I'm willing to listen to all sides. Because I know there's two sides to every story, right? But if there's more facts on one side, I'm going towards the other side. Now, you heard me criticize LeBron as a basketball player sometimes, but the stuff that he doing off the court, the fact that he's a billionaire while still playing basketball is amazing. I said many a times, I'm gonna say it again. LeBron James is like the Floyd Mayweather of the NBA. The guy is a businessman. He knows how to make money. Okay. Now there may be some things that I don't respect on the basketball court, but him as a man and him as a businessman, I give nothing but credit to. That's amazing. That's a nice thing to see. A black man being a billionaire before he even retires. That's great. But as always, it comes down to how you use that power. I'm almost out of here. It's only 3 minutes. Just wanted to chop on that a little bit. Westbrook getting his shot blocked. Breaking shots. But that's still no excuse. He's going to have to get the job done. This is the second guy in NBA history to lead the league in triple doubles. You know, so I'm going to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt. I give LeBron the benefit of the doubt and say that he's not faking injuries. I give him that, but I hope he's not doing load management. I just hope not, because that's a sad look. That was so bad, load management, that the NBA had to stop using that word, because that word was just a negative. Load management was one of the words that you do not say in the NBA, because it left a bad taste in people's mouth. They were like, hold up, we pay money to watch these guys play. What do you mean, load management? The NBA completely erased that term, load management. Now, the term load management, I have not heard my entire life in the NBA until LeBron was taking some games off. You know, I know the Spurs was doing some of that too, but I never heard the term load management. You know, and the Spurs did it in such a slick way that it got swept under the rug, and a lot of people kind of forget. 95-93, the Lakers struggling to close this game out against the OKC Thunder. Now, I know I normally be here in the afternoon, and you know, half of y'all probably sleep. You know, it's probably like 11 or 12 o'clock on the East Coast, so half of y'all are probably already asleep or doing something else. You know, but here in LA, it's only 9:43. And as soon as this game over with, I'll be Audi 5000. Now, you maybe say Stephen A never gets personal. He only talks sports. That's true. But he saves his harshest criticism for the brothers only. And to me, that's flat out wrong. If you so-called real, you're supposed to be going at everybody. And the same thing goes for the players. These players let Skip Bayless and all these guys get away with murder. They could say anything about these players, and the players say nothing back. Barely do Skip Bayless ever get confronted. But Stephen A. Smith, you got guys willing to put their hands on Stephen A. Smith. Why is that? Just because they both brothers? Oh my God. Wow. You just saw that three from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander? He hit a three from the parking lot and hold the pose. And this young Thunder team look like they about to get that victory over the Lakers. You can't do nothing about that. That's the magic of the three ball in today's NBA. This Laker team, man, I don't know. I don't know. I know it's regular season, and you got to take regular season. It doesn't display the whole picture. Okay, there's more to basketball than just the regular season, but you can only go by now. The Lakers don't look like a championship contending team. They're struggling to beat teams they're supposed to be beating with ease. Can't get the job done. Westbrook don't look like a good fit. You know, these basketball players are a little too privileged, though. If I was a professional basketball player in the NBA, and I was a superstar, I feel like it's my duty to almost go out there and perform. My career probably will only last about 12 years, but hey, it'll be worth it because you would get my very best for 12 years. I don't want to be playing basketball for no damn 20 years anyway. Man, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people. I don't care about that stuff, man. Everybody always got something to say. When you're on YouTube, you put your business out there, so people are going to talk about you. It's part of being on these media outlets, you know. Yeah, this is another bad loss for the Lakers, G Money. This is making them look bad. They can't defend or stop anybody. Westbrook is a bad fit with this team. This team just don't look that good, man. They're going to have to do a lot to turn this thing over. The fact that Carmelo Anthony is one of the best players on your team, that's kind of discouraging because Carmelo Anthony is old as dirt. He's not supposed to be your best player or one of your best players on the team. Why is he bailing 3 All-Stars out? You got 3 All-Stars on this team. Carmelo Anthony shouldn't be bailing you out. Yeah, man, and I think the Washington Wizards was happy to get rid of Westbrook. Looks like Westbrook just don't know how to play winning basketball. He gets too distracted. He lets people get in his head. Marc Gasol over DeAndre Jordan. Lakers were up 19 exactly and blow it off. Speaking of big wins, Celtics got a big win over the Miami Heat today. I didn't thought that was going to happen. The Lakers could still close this game out. 101 to 103. Was that a 3 or something or a layup? I was busy talking. Yeah, Melo did stunk down the stretch. There should be a free throw shooting game if you can't get the ball out to inbound. And OKC Thunder could win this game on the free throw line. Looking like Fossil. Hey, this is an older team, so they're going to take a lot of butt whippings in the regular season. Question is, can this all come together in the playoffs? But this team didn't earn the right to be one of those teams that say, hey, we could flip a switch and turn it on in the playoffs. Sometimes that switch won't work. You can't flip a switch all the time and say, oh, when the playoffs come, I'll be ready. It don't work like that all the time. Remember, the Lakers used to think like that with Shaq and Kobe. They used to lose games to bad teams. But then say, hey, you know what? When the playoffs come, we flip that switch. And it didn't always work for Shaq and Kobe. And that's how they lost. You know, they ran into that San Antonio Spurs a couple of times, and it went back and forth. The Spurs prevented the Lakers from winning more championships. Yeah, man. I mean, this just seems like basketball for dummies, Red Pill. Just a bunch of guys running around getting uncontested dunks. It's like watching a all-star game. NBA games are very similar to all-star games, the way they're being played today. And y'all know nobody played defense in all-star games. All-star games is just like, yeah, man. You know, guys just talking smack or whatever, and that's it. Yeah, that is. Looks like Carmelo Anthony trying to throw down, beefing with somebody on the court. You know stuff going bad when you're trying to fight somebody on the basketball court. Steve Novak. Oh my God, that guy used to fire from three. G Money, I'm starting to believe you. The Suns are a compatible team to beat the Lakers. No question. Especially if the Lakers are playing like this. A lot of these pieces just don't match. But you know what? I ain't feeling sorry for the Lakers. You better win with what you got. No excuses. Win with what you got. Lakers got all these good pieces. They got a couple good veteran pieces. Avery Bradley is a great role player. Good role player. Solid players. And the fact that you got 3 All-Stars, Carmelo Anthony, solid role player right now. Playing like a borderline All-Star, and y'all still can't get these wins. You got these young boys skating on the Lakers, giving them A whoopings. You know? Yeah. And, you know, there's a thin line between, like I said, criticism and hate. If you ever see somebody making 20 videos on one guy all the time and it's all negative, that's hate. That's hate. If a guy got like 20 videos, LeBron James is this, LeBron James is that, and they're all negative right after each other, that's just hating. You know, that's the definition of hating. You know, I get on all different people, whoever I feel like getting on at this week. And y'all know I've been getting on Scottie Pippen again. You know, back on Scottie Pippen. I mean, he got to get it. He got to get it when he talking nonsense. Because here's the thing about Scottie Pippen. If he wasn't drafted to the Bulls, he'd be just another player in the 90s. Michael Jordan was a superstar with or without Scottie Pippen. And here's the news flash. Michael Jordan still would have won a championship or two without Scottie Pippen. No doubt in my mind that it would have happened. Because Jerry Krause is a great GM. You think Jerry Krause is not going to build a good team around Michael Jordan? Come on, man. The league itself wouldn't want Michael Jordan not to be on a good team because that's money right there. You got to understand something about transcending superstars, man. Is that Carmelo Anthony again with a clutch shot? Y'all still got 8 seconds to try to win this game. Let's see who that is. Oh, that's Melo again. Melo. Man, Carmelo Anthony playing his mind out. Y'all wasting Carmelo Anthony's time on this Laker team. He carrying the Lakers by himself. Old man Carmelo Anthony is carrying the Lakers. And y'all got 3 All-Stars. 3 All-Stars, and Carmelo Anthony is carrying y'all. Come on, man. Without Carmelo Anthony, you would have had more losses on your record. That's sad. That's sad. But back to Scottie Sippin, a.k.a. Pippen. Dog, if you was on the Seattle Supersonics or you got traded, you would have been winning a whole lot of nothing. Mike still would have been a 10-time scoring champ. Even if Michael Jordan didn't win a championship, with the resume and all the stuff he got, he probably have been another Walt. And people would be like, man, he didn't win a championship because his team wasn't good enough, but Jordan showed up. No, but there's no way he wouldn't have won a championship with or without Scottie Pippen, and you ask me, you know, just like the league wouldn't let me try to word this correctly. Just like the league wouldn't benefit off LeBron not being in a winning situation, you know, you get a little extra advantages when you're the face of the league. That's all I'm going to say. You know, 7 seconds to go. You're going to need more clutch from Melo. Let's see if Melo could carry the Lakers again. And how long will Carmelo Anthony last this season? With y'all putting so much pressure on Carmelo Anthony, and he didn't came there to be carrying the team like he's a franchise player. I mean, he's supposed to have the game's supposed to be more easier for Carmelo Anthony. He shouldn't have to show up to be in the clutch for you guys. You got 3 All-Stars on this team. Y'all should have did most of the heavy lifting. Yeah, they signed me out of retirement. Bad knees and all. Man, I last a few seconds on there. Westbrook, I probably last a few seconds on there, and that's it. Leave it to Westbrook to choke a game away. Westbrook, he building a new bar on the side of Staples Center. They're gonna have beer, all of that. You could get a special drink called Russell Westbrook. It's a beer that looked like a brick, and you could drink it, bro. I mean, he losing those red bricks. I think by the end of this year that you're gonna see the new bar build up. It's gonna be by Westbrook. Leave it up to Westbrook to cost you a game. King of empty stats. King of stat padding. Now, like I said, I don't mind young guys stat padding because they got to do what they got to do to get money, you know. And when you first come into the league, winning a championship is not on your mind. I don't care what anybody say. If you're a rookie, winning a championship is not on your mind. You may say that to the media, but you don't care about winning no championship. You want to prove to the world that you're great, that you could play basketball, and you deserve to have this 5-year contract that the league could potentially give you, you know? Oh, man, Westbrook got a bad jump shot. He got a bad jump shot. The guy can't shoot. If Westbrook and that's the thing, when Westbrook signed to this team, and I know that players play in the LeBron system, LeBron is going to make Russell Westbrook his Kevin Love, his Chris Bosh. Those guys could shoot. Those guys had a jump shot. Westbrook can't shoot. Westbrook can't be no spot-up shooter. Yo, and they won both games. Isn't that crazy? What's the Lakers record so far this season? Ain't it like 3-5, 5-4 or something like that? If I'm not mistaken. Because I'm just curious, even though an early regular season record means nothing, actually, you know. Yeah, they would. Oh, I was right, 5-4. So, and that was just a guess because I don't pay attention to early regular season records too much because it's kind of pointless. You know, every now and then I just get, if it's something remarkable like it's 9-0, I may pay attention, but for the most part, no. And yes, G Money, that's a better fit. See, that goes to prove you Lakers didn't need no bunch of all-stars. All you needed was just some more depth. You could have had a deep bench, great role players, and feed off LeBron and AD. Why you need another all-star for? And an all-star like Westbrook that need the ball in his hands, that can't play with other players. This man played with James Harden and Kevin Durant, couldn't win with them, don't know how to play team basketball, played with Melo and Paul George, couldn't know how to win with them. The guy just don't know how to play winning basketball. Him and Bradley Beal didn't work out. He don't. I don't. The best fit for Westbrook is a bunch of role players, and you just give him the ball, let him average a triple double, and he do what he do. A team like the Milwaukee Bucks that just built around one All-Star is good. That's what Russell Westbrook needs. But he can't. The fact that he was so lucky in his career to have played with some of the best players in the game and still can't win says a lot. Westbrook was lucky to have a lot of players on. He only played with like a bad team, a mediocre team, like once or twice out of his whole career. And that was the year Kevin Durant first left. The year Kevin Durant left, he had a bunch of role players. And the very next season, he got his wish. He ended up getting good players. You got an all-star to play with you. How lucky has Russell Westbrook been throughout his career? He's always played with good players. Russell Westbrook is like an all-star version of J.R. Smith. No, don't take that shot. Don't do it. What you doing? Nah, we don't want that. Now, Westbrook on the Knicks is durable because the Knicks got a bunch of role players. So if you put a role players around Westbrook, he have the ball in his hands. He could stat pad. He could get his numbers. That's winning basketball for a team like Westbrook. Westbrook needs to be playing with role players rather than all-stars. He better for role players rather than all-stars. I know that sounds weird, but it's the truth. I can't get this off. Hold on. Yeah, they have a shot, but I think Giannis gonna spike them around again if they meet in the finals. I can't see Westbrook. I mean, I can't see the Suns beating the Bucks. I know G Money pushing for the Suns to win the championship because of Chris Paul. You really want to see Chris Paul have that ring on his resume, huh? I don't see it happening no more, though, bro. I think it's over. I honestly think it's over. He had his one shot. You know, that was it. He was like Dirk. You only get one chance, like the Eminem song, and he ruined his chance. Nah, he don't hate the Knicks. Red Pill don't hate the Knicks. He just like trolling the Knicks sometimes, making jokes with them. Oh, okay. Win the West, but lose to the Nets. Yo, the Suns and the Nets will be an up and down series. I'm not sure if the Nets could get to the finals. I think the Nets got better chances to get to the finals than the Lakers. I'm going to say that. Who got better chances of getting to the finals, the Lakers or the Nets? I say it's the Nets. I think the Nets could come together and win more better than the Lakers. The Lakers just don't get. They get the all-stars. They just don't know how to play together. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant fit better. They just fit better. Their big three fit better. I know they may be scoring, lacking the defense, but they so potent on offense and they share the ball around. They got a better chance, minus injuries. The Lakers shouldn't be dependent on Carmelo Anthony at all. What next? He going to get DeMarcus Cousins? Where's DeMarcus Cousins anyway? He didn't get no NBA job. I guess the NBA don't want him no more. But that's crazy, man. Now look at Anthony Davis. The man shot 11 for 20. So he was over 50. He was 50%. 17 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 5 assists. That stat line, you look at that stat line, you say, okay, he had a great game. He should have won. But he failed to come doing when they needed him most in the fourth quarter. This is where stats get empty. All of those good numbers led to nothing. All of those stats led to nothing. What's Westbrook's rundown? You know, how many points Westbrook had tonight? I bet it was over 20. Had a couple assists and rebounds, but still couldn't get the job done because he disappeared in the fourth quarter. He was Russell Brick. Now AD got a more better shot than Westbrook, but AD was never a great three-point shooter, and AD not supposed to be out there trying to shoot threes. You're supposed to be getting yourself in the block and getting buckets that way. But for a 7-footer guy, he plays soft. He's mighty soft for a 7-footer. If Anthony Davis played against Patrick Ewing, Shaq, Hakeem Olajuwon, he'll get torched. They be posting them, dunking on him, because he don't know how to stop those guys. He don't know how to stop centers. And not forgetting, you got Dwight Howard out here, another future Hall of Famer, who can still give you defense and rebounding. Rajon Rondo, another future Hall of Famer. Now, it's a little too early to say your Lakers ain't making it to the finals, but you should. You should make the finals. There ain't no excuses for it. You're going to build this big three team, meaning to tell me you can't go to the finals? Oh, that's capped 100%. The Warriors don't got nothing, no facts, no proof that they could make it to the NBA finals. What are we basing this on? That the Warriors going to make the NBA finals? How? Where's the logic behind that? You're just hopeful thinking. That's all that is. There's nothing to state. There's no proof to state that the Warriors got a championship contending team. Wiggins never became the player that he was supposed to be. Klay Thompson is coming off an injury. Man, come on, man. Yeah, Iggy's old as dirt. He got a couple of moments every now and then. He could jump every now and then. Draymond Green isn't as good as prime Draymond Green. Draymond Green at his best was only 2 years. Draymond Green's prime was 2 seasons. That's it. 2015 and 2016 was the prime of Draymond Green. And you could make a case 2014. But his effectiveness on the court only lasted about 3 years. Man, what is DeAndre Jordan doing out there? The Nets really got rid of him. They really was doing a good job getting rid of DeAndre Jordan. They know, hey, man, I this guy is done. The minute he got his minutes taken away, DeAndre Jordan won't be on his Lakers team for the full season. He'll be gone. They're going to cut DeAndre Jordan. Rondo may stay if he's not hurt. Yeah, they could also suffer an injury. They're going to have to do a lot because they're perimeter players. They got to do a lot of running and a lot of shooting. Then they got to get back on defense guarding other perimeter players. That takes a lot of energy out of you. Yeah, I think he's done already, G-Money. I think he's already done. I think it's only a matter of time before they let him out. They let him off this Lakers team. And Carmelo Anthony shooting the hell out that ball, man. He's shooting over 50% on catch and shoots. That is true. That is true. But yeah, man, this game is finito. It's over. It's not just Frank Vogel, Tay Davis. The players got to come together and learn how to play too. You can't blame everything on the coach. Then the coach ain't the one out there playing. The coach is. It's not the coach's fault Westbrook can't shoot. It's not the coach's fault that they can't stay in front of a man and he breaks it. They break getting broken off the dribble. Look at all these plays, Anthony. Look at these plays. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander crossing up Anthony Davis, then crossing up another defender, then another defender just to get to the basket. Easy work. These guys are getting crossed up all over the place. And Lakers missed a lot of layups. That's not Vogel's fault. A coach can only do so much. A coach can't make you a good basketball player. You have to do that. You got to be in the gym shooting. Westbrook should have known, hey, I need to improve on my jump shot. You should have been doing that. I shouldn't have to be telling you that. You should have put that Mamba work in. You know, when guys used to go to clubs to hang out and spend that NBA money, Kobe Bryant was in the gym working on his jump shot. When guys was using stiff and coke in the 80s, having parties, Michael Jordan was busy working on his jump shot. See how greatness is? Greatness is when you put the time and effort in. You can have all the talent in the world, but if that talent don't meet hard work and determination, you ain't gonna go nowhere. Talent means nothing. Talent just means potential. What you do with that potential means everything. You know, that's why you got simps like Scottie Pippen. You wanted to be the man so bad, but you didn't put the time and effort to be the man. You didn't work, you didn't play basketball after the game was over with and work in gyms. No, you was too busy simping in clubs. I ain't gonna even get into your track record with that. Because you was not on the court after the games was over with. You didn't take the losses as serious as Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan got pushed around by the Detroit Pistons, went back into the locker room, the gym, got his muscles up. When guys was playing physical with him, he always accepted the challenge. He always believed I could get better and better. And the thing about what makes Michael so great, he turned his weaknesses into his strengths. Scottie Pippen never turned his weaknesses into his strength. He was too busy partying. He was too busy hanging out with Laura Pimpin while she was thinking about Future or some other rap star. But you got the nerve to try to compare yourself to Jordan or Kobe? You don't work hard as those guys. Kobe was the last person in the gym, first person there and the last person in the gym, working out endlessly, working on his jump shot, shooting a million shots. You seen how Kobe and Michael Jordan talk trash to each other? Mike know Kobe never was going to back down. Kobe know Mike wasn't going to back down. And that's how they were. Two competitive guys that gave it all to win. When you got talent that meets that hard work, oh man, you're going to be unstoppable. You ain't going to let nothing stand in your way. Jordan could have been doing coke with those guys in the 80s and got his whole career taken away from him. A lot of those guys in the 80s was doing that. They was stiffing them lines. They was watching Scarface too much. Yeah, you know damn well LeBron ain't better than no Jordan. Never was. What has LeBron James ever did better than Michael Jordan? Nothing. Individually and team-wise, Mike still have a better career than LeBron James. But you got these people out here that try to brainwash you. They want you to hype up Scottie Pippen and make him better than what he was. Scottie Pippen probably would never been an all-star or a top 50 player. Maybe an all-star, but not a top 50 player if he didn't play with Jordan. You keep talking about what Scottie Pippen did for the Bulls, but you don't talk about what Michael Jordan did for the rest of those guys. Because if Scottie Pippen was on that team and Mike wasn't on there, nobody would be talking about the Bulls. Nor would they really been winning. Jerry Krause know what he was doing. Michael Jordan probably sitting in his house like, man, these kids really think LeBron James better than me. The things I could have did to LeBron, I would have physically and mentally owned that guy. Especially for his first 7 seasons. Oh my God. Wade had to teach LeBron how to win. Jordan had to learn how to win on his own, staying on the same team. That's hard work and determination. He didn't have to go to another guy that won the championship to teach him what killer instinct was, to how to close out a basketball game. He was already going to do that pressure by himself. Y'all going to keep capping for LeBron James. LeBron James is not better than Michael Jordan and never was. He knows it himself. That's why he keeps saying, I'm trying to catch up to the ghost. I'm trying to catch up to 23. I'm not too sure if he was really better than Kobe. LeBron's a great player. But come on now. Yeah, that is true. You gave Kobe 1 All-Star he was able to win 2 championships with. He didn't need a big 3. LeBron needs a big 3 and more to win. Don't be surprised if that roster gets traded this season. Because LeBron got it. He don't want to take the challenge. That's the thing I don't like about him. He don't want to take the challenge. If you're so great, why can't you just win consistently with 1 All-Star? The only one he got that wasn't a super team title was the one with Anthony Davis. And the people look at that as suspect a little bit. I don't. But I can see why some people look at that as suspect. Because how you playing with 2 top 5 players and you can't win a championship? Shaq and Kobe both was 2 of the top 5 best players in the world. They won 3 championships together. How could they not? LeBron and Anthony Davis was presumed as top 5 best players in the world. How could they not win championships together? Magic and Kareem was presumed as 2 of the top 5 players in the world. How could they not win championships together? Come on now, man. Scottie Pippen was not equal to Michael Jordan. He don't deserve the same credibility, nor will he ever get it. It's as simple as that. You were a solid, good basketball player. You were never on Michael Jordan's level. This was not a Magic and Kareem situation. This was not a Shaq and Kobe. This was no 1A, 1B. You were clearly the number 2, period. You were the second best player on the Bulls. End of discussion. You were not a top 5 player in the league. Yeah, that's okay. LeBron, that's good to be in the top 5. LeBron better than Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen mentally was weak before LeBron James. Scottie Pippen was giving in to Detroit Pistons, scared. He was scared. His heart pumped fear against the Detroit Pistons. All those guys was dissing him, talking bad to him. Yo, you better not step in this paint or I'm going to slap this F all out of you. Scottie Pippen was scared. And it took Mike to put that battery in his back to make him tough. Remember in 91, he was finally attacking the basket and getting hit and not crying about it. He should be done with Scottie Pippen because Scottie Pippen's a troll. To sell your little stupid book. But you're going to get mad at The Last Dance. The Last Dance was recorded while you were still playing, bro. It's a Jordan documentary. How you going to get mad at Jordan getting paid money for a documentary that's his? Won't you make your own documentary? Oops, I forgot. Nobody really will pay attention to it unless you're talking about Mike. That's just the facts. Yeah. That's a funny thing about it. People do that for Pippen G Money because they're LeBron fanboys. And they see some similarities between Scottie Pippen and LeBron. So what they do is hype up Scottie Pippen to try to make it be a flaw against Michael Jordan's career. Be like, look who Mike playing with. Scottie Pippen wasn't a top 5 player in the world. Magic got to play with a top 5 player. Kobe was playing with a top 5 player. LeBron played with a top 5 player multiple times. Him and Wade and him and Anthony Davis. Michael Jordan never played with a top 5 player. Period. Scottie Pippen couldn't even win a team over when Michael Jordan left. You had Tony Kukoc out there hitting clutch shots. He did that all season long. Bailing Scottie Pippen out because Scottie Pippen couldn't shoot that good. So you trust Scottie Pippen in the clutch to hit a clutch shot? Man, please. Your team going to be losing most of the time. 90% of the time, your team will be losing. Scottie Pippen couldn't close no games out because he wasn't a superstar. He was an all-star. If he was so great, how come Scottie Pippen was on the trade block 5 times from the Chicago Bulls? If you're so great, nobody wants to trade you. I tell you that much. Nobody said they want to trade LeBron. Nobody said they ever want to trade Kobe. Nobody said they ever want to trade Michael Jordan. Exactly. So if Scottie Pippen was on the same level with Kobe and them guys, you shouldn't be losing to them. You should be able to beat Kobe. He was younger too. You the veteran, right? Oh, yeah, he did this, begging Jordan to come back. So if you were so good, Scottie Pippen, how come you begging Jordan to come back? Go ahead, be the man, take over the team. You couldn't do it. That's why. You couldn't handle the pressure Mike or LeBron could handle. LeBron was handling pressure since he was a kid in high school. Jordan was handling pressure ever since he became Jordan. Jordan averaged 28 points a game in his rookie season. Come on, man. Are you out of your mind? Larry Bird said Michael Jordan was God in basketball shoes. Now, I don't condone that because there's only one God. But that's what Larry Bird said. Larry Bird even know Mike was something special. Be like, who is this guy? Scottie Pippen wasn't doing that. No, you were just an unpolished diamond. And you was lucky to play with Mike because Mike folded you and put some battery in your back. He made you practice with him because you wouldn't want to do it. Scottie Pippen was too busy going to clubs, wasting his money. Mike had to get on him and say, hey, I'm going to be just as hard as on myself as I am on my teammates. I wouldn't ask my teammates to do something that I won't do. That's what Michael Jordan said. Michael Jordan know, hey, I need a team to win the championship. So I'm going to have to put that same determination on everybody else to win. Yep. He couldn't even handle a baby Kobe Bryant. But you're supposed to be a top 5. Though you're just not in the top 5. You're not in the top 10. You're arguably a top 50. And it's going to be that. And that's it. So if you're a top 50, nobody's going to be sitting there saying, arguing and debating on who's the 45 greatest basketball player of the world. Nobody cares at that point. Average basketball fan only cares about 1 through 5 or 6 through 10. Sometimes 6 through 10 is a argument that people don't care about too much. You know, Mike retired. You went to play with Hakeem Olajuwon and Charles Barkley. Couldn't win. Portland Trailblazers, you had a chance to beat a man. Couldn't win. You was only averaging about 13 to 14 points a game. That don't look like a superstar to me, bro. You averaged 16 playing with Mike. How is that superstar numbers, bro? How come Joe Dumars won Finals MVP under Isaiah Thomas's watch? Magic Johnson was able to win Finals MVP under Kareem's watch. Even James Worthy got Finals MVP. Tony Parker got a Finals MVP over Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan was the best player on the team. You mean to tell me out of 6 championships, Scottie Pippen wasn't good enough to get one? That's on you, bro. Michael Jordan didn't stop you from getting MVPs. You just wasn't good enough. Sorry. What you want me to do? Give you more credit than what you deserve? I just said you was a good player, but I'm not going to pitch you in the top 5. Nobody's dumb enough to do that. Oh, and by the way, shout out to everybody that joined the live stream today because we about to be out. My hour is up. I like doing an hour time because I don't want to drag stuff out. You know, I don't know how some of these people could do it, but some people be on here for like 6-7 hours talking about the same thing. If you can't get your point across in 7 hours, you don't deserve to be on YouTube. You know. But nevertheless, we out. Peace.